unlike the name suggests, Telangana is an old state with an old state with a new name, whereas Andhra Pradesh is a new state with the old name. So we have about 160,000 square kilometers of beachfront area in the entire country, about 1,000 kilometers of sea running from almost Orissa border to Chennai border. So it's a very long, the longest coastline of the country. The state is new and we are building a new capital. Some of you must have heard of Amaravati, which is going to be the first world-class capital city of India. It will be coming up over the next 5 to 10 years. So with this background, Andhra Pradesh state is the 8th largest state in India, and it has about 4% of India's total population and about 100 billion US dollar GDP. It has the second largest, longest coastline in India, about 1,000 kilometers. A total of 14 ports and about 12 airports. One of the airports, which is Gannavaram Airport, is getting upgraded very rapidly. In another couple of months, it will be operational as an international airport. Currently, we have Vizag Airport, which is an international airport running flights across the country. This is the fact sheet of the state. It's about 160,000 square kilometers and a population of about 50 million. The state capital is Amaravati, located at this location. It's quite accessible to the eastern part of the world. Most of the East Asian countries have a direct access. We have a port there coming up. And other major cities are Visakhapatnam, Rajahmundry, Vijayawada, Tirupati. All of them have airports. Kurnool is nearer to Hyderabad, which is an international airport. And the climate is quite warm. This is like extreme climate for me. So you can imagine, I've never used a sweater in my life till I crossed the state. So, and the state income is about 100 billion, as I suggested. It's about, the per capita income is about 16.5 US dollars in 2015-16. The tourism vision, the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, he was instrumental in building Hyderabad as a world-class capital, and he is the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. So this is the tourism vision of Andhra Pradesh, to develop Andhra Pradesh as one of the most preferred tourist destinations through sustained investments, robust tourism infrastructure projects and services, in providing world-class diverse tourist experience. Now, when we see the figures over the last 1 year, we see that the domestic tourist arrivals have increased by about 30%, and the growth rate of foreign tourist arrivals has been highest in the country over the last 1 year, almost 260%. The majority of it going to Vizag, which is very quickly becoming a MICE destination in the country because of the pharma industry. Almost a very large chunk of pharma industry is located near Vizag, apart from other businesses. And the contribution to state GDP in terms of tourism is about 21%. Now coming to the tourism in Andhra Pradesh, it's a great holiday destination. Very few people know about Andhra Pradesh, hitherto a virgin area, and being part of the erstwhile Andhra Pradesh, we did not give much of focus on this part of the state. So most of the areas that you will be seeing there are virgin and hitherto unexplored to most parts of even India, and also those within the state also have not visited many of those destinations, which I am going to show you. The state is very long, almost 1,000 kilometers. So we have divided the entire state into 5 hubs, which are the Vizag hub, which has an airport, then the Konaseema hub, which is kind of larger than Kerala, kind of backwaters available there, waiting to be explored, full of flora and fauna, which is quite unique to that area. Then we have Amaravati, the place where Buddhism has been exported, if I can say that, to the rest of the world. This is the place from where Nagarjuna, Acharya Nagarjuna, about 2000 years ago, has started taking Buddhism to Japan and other parts of East Asia. Then we have Tirupati, which is home to Lord Balaji, the most visited Hindu temple in the world and the richest Hindu god in the world. And that again has a history of a couple of thousand years. That again is a mysterious temple if you go back to about 1000 to 2000 years or even before that. And we have another hub which is Anantapur hub, which is full of heritage and prehistoric sites dating back to 25,000 years with paintings and many other sites which some of which we have seen in the videos. Coming to the destination, these are the beaches which we have on the east coast, most of them virgin beaches and waiting to be explored. These are the backwaters location of the state. We have about 70,000 acres of intricately meandering canals and backwaters in the whole of that area. The area is called Konasima. There's a very rich cultural and heritage there with unique dances, then the way of life, architecture, the idyllic settings, everything is quite unique in that region. Even the fish also, which is available there, is quite unique. We have 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter fish, which is quite a delicacy, which is available probably 10 days in a year, and local people cook that in a very different, distinct style. Then we have Tirupati, as I told you, the location which is near Chennai, hardly 2 hours from the international airport. And Tirupati incidentally receives about 100,000 visitors every day. And they will not be able to, still you will be having many people left out to visit that temple. And near Tirupati we have Pulicat Lake, which is a very large lake which is host to many of the migratory birds which come from Siberia and elsewhere every year during their breeding season. It's a sight to see. It is also home to India's spaceport, where every 3 months a rocket launch happens. And incidentally, very few people know that we are home to India's largest tiger reserve, which is located in Srisailam. That again is quite an unexplored territory. And also, as I told you, Andhra Pradesh is home to Mahayana Buddhism, the kind of Buddhism which is followed in many East Asian countries, and the place Amaravati, which is the current capital. This is the 5th time in the history of mankind that this location is becoming the capital of an entity over the last 2,500 years. And the whole state has Eastern Ghats running from south end to the northern end. And the whole of Eastern Ghats has innumerable number of communities, the tribal communities, each with their own very rich heritage and culture, which can be experienced if, for the tourists. And we are very focused and concerned about protecting the integrity and the sustainability of the tourism that we take up, all the initiatives. Now coming to the beaches, as I told you, we have a very diverse range of beaches with lots of sports activities happening there. And the background right from coconut setting to rock formations, and the hills, different locations and different types of beaches available. And if you go to the Eastern Ghats, which is quite near the international airport of Visakhapatnam, that's a location from where within 2 to 3 hours of travel, you can experience beautiful hills, beaches, Buddhism, old heritage, ancient million-year-old caves, you name it, almost this is kind of an unparalleled destination in the country where within 3 hours of travel distance you can experience a host of a variety of these experiences. As I told you, this is the place of Mahayana Buddhism, Amaravati, which is located near Vijayawada, about 20 kilometers from Vijayawada Gannavaram Airport. And the Mahastupa is quite well known in Buddhist circles, right from Japan to China to East Asian countries. Most of these structures date back to about 2nd century BC. And this is the Tirupati hub. Lepakshi, some of you who are into art and culture must have had a glimpse of that temple. If you go inside this temple, there are about 400 to 500 very unique designs, which are of course patented by Archaeological Survey of India, but somebody going there can have a look at that artwork which exists in that temple, which has been created almost many centuries ago. More than, I think it's in 8th century AD. And we have a very large number of Hindu temples with very unique architecture. And Andhra Pradesh is, also has the best managed Hindu temples anywhere in the country. Very well managed temple administration exists. Anybody coming there can experience a different kind of experience in any one of these temples. Each temple is known for a different activity. For example, there is a temple in North Coast Andhra Pradesh which is home to sun god, which pays obeisance to sun god. Similarly, every kind of nature that you see has a temple, a snake or a tortoise. All these places have a temple in one part of the state or the other, all very well managed and with distinct architectural and cultural heritage. So these are the backwaters of Konaseema, about 70,000 acres. You see there it's a part of it is a wildlife sanctuary with a lot of otters. Even I grew up there adjacent to that place. I didn't know that otters were existing inside that sanctuary. So that's the kind of biodiversity that we have, and we have mud flappers. Many people feel quite excited to see fish swim on outside water, because at least I was quite excited to see them. I thought fish only swim inside water, but these and there are certain very rare species of crabs, golden colored crabs there. Quite exciting place for nature lovers, as well as for those who like this kind of settings. And now coming to, that's one part of the story. The other part is the investment opportunities in the tourist destinations in Andhra Pradesh. We have a very robust tourism policy which we have put forth for the prospective investors in this state. If you see, Andhra Pradesh is ranked first in ease of doing business in India by World Bank. Just recently, last month itself, these rankings have come out. And as far as tourism is concerned, we have been rated as the best tourism incentive policy in the entire country by World Travel Tourism Council. And this is a glimpse of the tourism incentives that we gave. The 3-year tax holiday of entertainment and luxury tax, the single desk facilitation offering clearances within 15 days, then capital investment and OPEX subsidies, registration and stamp duty reimbursement, then land lease concessions, land concessions, and special status to certain industries which have higher investment potential. So anybody who is interested, we will be facilitating their investment in tourism. The major tourism themes that we have identified are beaches and water-based tourism, then eco-tourism, which the state is full of eco-tourist destinations, then Buddhism. Very few people know that Bodh Gaya people, whenever we speak of Buddhism, Bodh comes to their mind, but very few people know that this place is, in fact, home to the majority of the influence, Buddhist influence that you see in the world is because of Andhra Pradesh. And what happened in Andhra Pradesh about 2500 years ago by the disciples of Lord Buddha, either Acharya Nagarjuna or the others. So this is the place. And coming to Hinduism also, this is the place where you can see and experience a different kind of Hindu architecture and Hindu temples. In fact, this state is home to, it has contributed very significantly to two of the world's most popular religions, Hinduism and Buddhism, with rich tribal culture and heritage there, with their own customs. Then we have beautiful beaches. We have about 500 five-star rooms there with state-of-the-art conferencing facilities. This is the Konaseema hub, which I told you. We have a wildlife sanctuary, Korenga sanctuary, with unique flora and fauna there. Then there are beautiful islands in the sea there. Then the river Godavari, which leads up to the Eastern Ghats, very beautiful location where we run cruises. And we have the Konaseema Dindi backwaters. Many people must have seen Kerala, but the backwaters here are quite exciting. In fact, you can go through the mangroves. A certain section of the tourists that are taken through the mangroves by a forest department. You can literally experience how it feels like going through a mangrove forest. This is, we have a huge requirement of hotel rooms there, about 2,500. In fact, the whole of the state, we have about 18,000 hotel room requirement, which we are soliciting investments, and then we have an aggressive promotion for these creation of the supply side gap. And the Amaravati hub, as I told you, the upcoming state capital, India's first smart capital, which is coming up there. And we have beaches, then Nagarjuna Konda, then Bhavani Island, which is kind of the large number of freshwater islands, naturally formed islands in River Krishna exist there. We have an existing hotel room inventory of about 645 rooms, additional requirement of 6,000 rooms because the state capital is being built there. And this is the Tirupati hub with Pulikat Lake with thousands of migratory birds coming in a span of 2 to 3 months. This is the season, in fact, the winter months. Then we have Horsley Hills and we have Tirupati Temple, the spaceport of India, all located in a very short distance, within 3-4 hours distance from there. Then we have the Rayalaseema hub where there's this reminds you of the Grand Canyon, but it's located in Kadapa. And we have Lapakshi Temple, as I told you. Then the Srisailam Tiger Reserve. Then Puttaparthi, which is the spiritual capital of the country, with Sai Baba having his own disciples there. So broadly, these are the tourist destinations and the investment opportunities. And we have certain suggested itineraries which we have listed. The tour operators may tie up with existing operators in Andhra Pradesh when you go through these, and we will also be supporting you in these operations. Somebody starting from Vijayawada, they can go to Undavalli, Amaravati, the historic sites of Buddhist sites. And from Hyderabad and Mumbai, they can come to Hyderabad, go to Nagarjuna Sagar, which is again a Buddhist site with almost history dating back to 65,000 years. We had an ancient civilization there, though it is submerged under the reservoir now. But some of the extracts from there are available in the Nagarjuna Konda there. Then Amaravati, Ghandasala, this is all a Buddhist circle. Then from Chennai, somebody coming from Chennai, they can again go to Jagayapeta, either the Buddhist circuit, or they can go to Nellore, which is the migratory birds location. Then from Hyderabad again you can go to this Mahabodhi, Buddha Vihara or Nagarjuna Sagar. So either you come from Vijayawada, Hyderabad, Chennai, Mumbai, anywhere you can have easy access to the Buddhist destination of the state. And coming from Delhi also, you have quite easy access to, there are daily flights to Vijayawada or Bangalore. So that's in brief. I've in fact not touched many parts of the total tourism potential available in the state. These are only a few things which I thought will put forth before the very distinguished audience which has come here. So gentlemen, any questions, queries, we are here to answer. And in case you have any other queries, you can feel free to email us. We'll be getting in touch with you and then facilitating whatever queries that you have. So with this presentation, I thank you all for the patient listening that you have offered. Thank you.
Would you have direct flights from the UK?
I doubt if there's any direct flight from UK, but there are flights to Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore, and Vizag also. There are direct flights, international flights. But it stops in Hyderabad and then comes over to Vizag. But Vizag is an international destination. From London, I have to check what are the flights available.
If I may, everybody else, certainly. Hello, I'm Tara Naidu. I'm the regional manager for Air India for UK and Europe. And since the question was raised about international flights, well, Air India already has international flights from London Heathrow and Birmingham into Delhi with an international connection into Vijayawada. So you can do your customs and immigration in Vijayawada. You just have to change the aircraft in Delhi airport. So Vijayawada is an international airport.
Tara